What's going on YouTube? So the Acura lineup has been expanding rapidly in recent years, and now they are adding an affordable entry-level SUV. This is the all-new Acura ADX, and as the name suggests, it will slot in below the RDX as the brand's most affordable SUV. So with a starting price only in the mid $30,000 range, is this a great way to put a luxury badge in your driveway? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the exterior design. Now when it comes to this ADX, they're going to be offering this in 3 trim levels like the Integra. You have the standard model, the a-spec, and the a-spec Advanced trim level. We have the a-spec Advanced today and finished in this beautiful blue color. And as you can see up here in the front, you're going to have that signature Acura grille. This is the frameless diamond pentagon grille, connecting it in with the other models in their lineup. We're also going to have more aggressive lower elements on this model as well. And I do want to point out that this one specifically has an extra lower body kit in the front and in the rear, which is an available accessory. Now, of course, you're also going to have signature Acura lighting as well. So up here, we've got our chicane daytime running light and turn signal indicator. You will have standard LED headlights, but you'll notice they aren't the jewel eye headlights. It's just one projector beam for both low and high beams. And then furthermore, down here at the bottom is where you'll find your LED fog lamps. Moving on to the wheels, 18-inch alloys will be standard equipment. 19-inch alloys come on both of your A-spec models. Here with the A-spec Advanced, we've got the full gloss black finish, as you can see, which looks quite nice and matches with the gloss black finish you have around the wheel arches, as well as all the lower body elements. Now you also have your A-spec branding up here on the fender and a gloss black finish on our mirrors, which have standard heating and standard blind spot monitoring. Power folding comes on the top model.
Now here at the side, I'm sure you're curious as to how long this Acura ADX is. And according to Acura, it's 185.8 inches. Now, I do want to point out it is based on the Honda HR-V. You might see some of the same side components going on here when it comes to the design. However, you will notice that this is about 5 inches longer than the HR-V, and a lot of that is going to be up here in the front with that nice angular design. Now, when it comes to design elements, we do have gloss black around all of our window surrounds, and let's go ahead and check out the rear as well. Overall, you're going to find a very sporty and athletic look for an SUV, and you'll notice that we do have a spoiler up here at the top. We also have an exposed rear wiper. This particular unit also has the accessory spoiler down here on this piece to kind of give you that dual spoiler setup for those of you that want that sportiest look. And then we do have some really nice premium LED taillights. Of course, every single element in these are LED, and you have a nice clear lens going on. Now, dropping down to the lower fascia, this is all finished in gloss black, as well as some silver trim. You're also going to find exposed exhaust outlets standard on every single ADX. Now, one of the great things about Acuras is they normally give you every single safety system as standard equipment, and that's going to continue for this ADX. That's certainly something that a lot of the German rivals can't say, so you're even going to have standard adaptive cruise control with a traffic jam assist. Many of the Germans will make you pay quite a bit extra for those features. But guys, I'm sure you're very curious as to what Acura has done on the inside, so let's go ahead and dive into that. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, now let's go ahead and check out the interior. First of all, we'll look at the key fob here. We do, of course, have a smart entry system with remote start on the fob. This is Acura's latest design on board. And you just reach behind the handle and that will unlock the door. Go ahead and check out this interior. So we switched over here to this white model specifically because even though this is the same trim level, it has the interior that I really want to show off. So this is a leather interior with suede inserts, but you'll notice that this is the kind of light colored orchid color and also has the blue accents. That's the first time Acura has done this, and it really, really pops on this model. You can also get a black and red, or you can just go for a straight ebony if you prefer something a little bit more subdued, but this is a really cool look overall. Your lower trims will come with leatherette seats. Now, in terms of the seat adjustments, we have 12 ways of power adjustment with 4-way lumbar support. We also have memory seats as well. And let's go ahead and climb inside. Now that we're fully inside the interior, let's get into the overall material selection. So first of all, I do want to say that just like with the Integra, Honda kind of followed the same formula. So they began things with the HR-V and then elevated them with more premium materials overall. So over here on our door trim, we have a leatherette going through here with a stitching detail. You'll notice we have a textured gloss black that runs through the center section, this blue suede insert through there, and then more of that orchid leatherette going through there. Top part of the door trim, is going to be soft touch, and the top part of the dashboard will also be soft touch. We have more leatherette through here, some brushed kind of faux aluminum running through there, and then you've got this nice console area which has some black trim as well as the leatherette on this side for your knee to rest against. But of course we're indoors here, so we can't really fire up the vehicle, but we can go ahead and dive in to the gauge cluster. So these gauges are going to be 10.2 inches. It's a full digital setup, and you can, of course, customize a few different elements in this overall design. I do want to just go ahead and point out you're seeing lots of things flashing on the screen right now. This is a pre-production model, so some things inside this cabin are not final. Obviously, that's not final. One of the other things that's not final is like the texture here on the steering wheel, but it is close to what you should expect to see at your dealerships coming up. Now, speaking of the steering wheel, as you can see, we do have the a-spec flat bottom design. Nice feel to this with the perforated leather over here on the side. The wheel itself will be manual tilt and telescoping, and we have heating right there on the wheel itself. Now, one of the things I do want to point out that's special about this ADX is the fact that behind the steering wheel here, we have real metal paddle shifters. That's right. You can see they look very premium and they feel very premium. You got that nice metallic sound when you click them. Really, really nice touch. Now let's check out the interior storage. So we'll open up our center console here. As is typical for Honda and Acura products, you've got a lot of storage inside. Nice, deep center console. We are in California today for this shoot, so we couldn't bring all of our donuts along. We just brought one to tell you guys that you can expect to see a full donut test coming as soon as we can get our hands on this model and drive it officially when it's released. You also have kind of a separated cup holder design. So you got one big cup holder right there, and then your other cup holder in front of the shifter, and then you've got a standard wireless phone charging pad. Now, as far as the shifter is concerned, you actually don't have the push button style, which is typical for Acura models. It's just going to be a traditional one. Again, you have those paddle shifters on the steering wheel that I pointed out earlier, and you have your electronic parking brake and brake hold right there. This does have a 360-degree camera system on the top trim. I'll see if I can get it to pull up. It doesn't look like it really wants to pull up, so you have to use your imagination. Again, this is a pre-production model, but it does have a 360 camera on the top trim. Now, as we move on to our climate controls, this is one of the areas that's the closest to the HR-V. These controls are pretty much exactly the same. It is a dual zone automatic setup, but it's a really nice clicky feel to these buttons. You have standard 3-stage heated seats on all models, and when you get to the mid-level A-spec, which by the way Acura expects to be the best-selling trim of this, does have ventilated seats as well. And moving up here to this area, you'll notice that we have a 9-inch display. Let's talk a little bit about what you have inside of the display. So first of all, this is standard on all the trim levels. Secondly, this has Google Apps built into it. So you have things like Google Maps natively right inside of the system itself. Good and responsive as well. And then the third thing I want to point out is that we have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Again, that will be included across the entire lineup. Now over here on the left-hand side, you have a few physical buttons, including a volume knob for the audio system. Now, if you choose the A-spec Advance, you're going to get a Bang & Olufsen sound system with 15 speakers. And you can see that you have the tweeters up there in the A-pillar. You also have, obviously, a lot of different speakers in various places, including in the headrest right above the driver and the passenger. So it should be an overall excellent audio experience like it is in many of the other Acura products. Now, as far as our mirror up here, it is an auto-dimming one with the frameless design. We don't have the HomeLink remotes built into it, though. And then lastly, we've got a panoramic sunroof up top. You have a standard sunroof on the base model, but the a-spec and the a-spec Advance will both get this panoramic unit.
But let's go ahead and dive into the rear seat area of this all-new ADX. Now, when it comes to this space, one of the great things about being based on the Honda HR-V is that's one of the largest subcompact SUVs out there. So that means you're going to have a large amount of space in this as well. 37.7 inches of legroom is what is confirmed by Acura. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". I'm 5'9" for reference, and we're looking at about 8 inches of additional knee room. That's really impressive for this segment of vehicle. My feet can also slide up underneath of the seat. Headroom has not officially been confirmed. The Honda HR-V is rated at about 37 inches. Due to the panoramic moonroof setup that we have on this, I'd expect that to go down a little bit, maybe about 36 inches of headroom, but overall it's still fine for someone of my size. The rear seats do not recline, so keep that in mind. However, we are going to have the nice feature of a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders inside. Speaking of features, we have standard vents on every ADX. Also, if you choose an A-spec or above, you'll get these 2 outlets back here to keep things charged up. Heated rear seats are not offered, and then over here on the door trim, we do have a hard touch door trim. I wish Honda or Acura would have switched this out and made this a little bit more premium for the Acura ADX, but the armrest portion itself is nicely padded, and we do have a nice bottle storage down at the very bottom. And let's check out the cargo area as well. Now, one of the nice things is that you do have a power tailgate standard on every single model. You also do have the ability to have the walk-away auto close, which I want to point out is a pretty nice feature that we see on stuff like the Acura MDX. You just press that button, and then it'll sense when you walk away and go ahead and shut down. Kickability is also offered. Now, as far as the space itself is concerned, we're sitting at 24 cubic feet behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, we're looking at about 55 cubic feet as a maximum. Now, once again, those are very good figures. That's one of the great things about it being based on the HR-V is that it has a lot of space here in the cargo department, which is what people are looking for in this segment. Now, as far as features are concerned back here, we do have some LED lighting on the sides. We're also going to have 60-40 split folding seats. There are not any handles to fold them from the cargo area. However, it's close enough that you can just easily reach up there and fold it down. Well, I say easily without the cargo cover installed. Now, even though we're on a little bit of a time crunch today, I do have a little bit of time so I can get you your cargo length, width, and height figures. So we're sitting at about 70 inches of overall length behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. From behind the second row of seats, we're looking at 34 inches of length. As far as cargo width, 41 inches wide, and then I'm not going to be able to get to your cargo height. I can kind of estimate a little bit, though. It's going to be about 30 inches tall, I believe. Underneath of the floor, you will find a spare tire.
Let's talk about the powertrain and what you'll find under the hood. Now, we aren't able to pop the hoods today on these pre-production models. However, we do know what is underneath. It is a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That, of course, is not shared with the HR-V, which has a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. They haven't rated this officially for power. However, this same engine is in the Integra, so we expect very similar power output to that, which is 200 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. In terms of our transmission, we have a continuously variable transmission across the lineup, and you have standard front-wheel drive and optional all-wheel drive on all 3 trim levels. In terms of fuel economy, again, we don't have any official numbers right now. However, the HR-V is rated at 27 combined with all-wheel drive in its engine. We expect this to come in more efficiently since it is a smaller displacement engine, so I'd expect around 30 mpg combined. There is no available hybrid system.
Now let's discuss pricing and availability. I'll start with pricing. Now, Acura has not released any official numbers yet. However, they did say that it will start in the mid $30,000 price point. So that would leave me to estimate about a $35,000 starting price. And with all the options, Car Confections is estimating, of course, this is not official from Acura, I'd say around $42,500 to $43,000 for a fully loaded example, which would represent a very good value quotient for this luxury subcompact segment. Now, when it comes to availability, Acura said this will be available in early 2025. I want to remind you guys that this is a 2025 model year vehicle, so we would expect to see this hopefully at Acura dealers in the first quarter of next year. Now, if you're looking to buy an Acura ADX or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this in-depth studio first look review of the all-new 2025 Acura ADX. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, not only are you going to join in and be a part of our Car Confections family, you're also telling the manufacturers that this video was important to you. And that's how we get invited to these early studio first looks. Now, thanks so much for tuning in, and we appreciate your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.